We're live. Hello.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to comicspriceguide.com presents Tales from the Geek. I am Aaron the Mechanic.
I'm just Bobby.
And we're back.
Yes.
We're missing
You're back.
B, but we're
now
back.
We're missing
I'm
B.
back.
Look, we've been having a cycle recently. It's cool. We're making this work.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We'll all be back together again soon. But we have some news and we have some comics. So we can just dive right on in because there's a lot of exciting stuff happening this week. But you know what we should start with, I think? I think we should start with Doctor Strange because it comes out May 6th and it's been getting good reviews, and it's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And apparently it has kind of a horror spin. I did not realize that Sam Raimi was directing this one.
I mean, it's interesting because Sam Raimi, he's gotten, with Tobey Maguire coming back in the most recent Spider-Man, it's his original trilogy of movies are getting like re-looked at, and it's like,
dude, Evil Dead franchise. I didn't even realize
this man has such a weird biography of movies, and I love them. They're great, but it's also super weird.
Xena
and Hercules. Also Darkman. Freaking Darkman. Okay, whatever.
But
now you do
Evil
also have
Dead
to keep...
though, dude. Evil Dead. That's the one that's just it blows my mind. So
I don't know if he made the original or if he just went like, nah, we parodying everything now.
Yeah. No, he did. It's a series since the 80s. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, that would be the original movie, wouldn't it?
Yep.
The one that took itself a little too seriously for unknown reasons.
But so far the reviews are good. They say that there's a horror element to it, so I'm excited. May 6th. We all know me. It'll probably take a few weeks before I actually get to watch it, but
and we all know me. It might take me 2 years, but we'll see.
No. I'm excited for this one though. I love Doctor Strange and I love Benedict Cumberbatch. So
absolutely. The other thing that I think is interesting is that he wasn't the original director on this. They actually had the director from the first Doctor Strange movie who was here. So it's interesting watching how Disney's gotten really good at keeping somebody on the top, which has been Kevin Feige for so long. That keeps everything going, even when they do have to do these shuffles. Which is pretty interesting.
Do you see this? Tails is back.
Hey! Hello, Voodoo.
We did. We're back. It's true.
We were here last. We were.
Yeah, but we weren't on Twitch.
Yeah, because
because I wasn't here. But that's why Voodoo watched.
You've hid the things. You can't do anything without you.
No, that's true though. And Voodoo, we were just talking about Sam Raimi directing the Doctor Strange movie, and that there should be some horror elements to it. So I know you're probably excited about that. Voodoo Lily does a horror stream talking about the new games and everything coming out, comics, shows, all of that on Saturdays. So and she actually streams games on Wednesdays on
yes.
So pumped. Us too. Bobby, are you going to be able to watch it? You're going to be scared.
You know what? I'm just behind. I'm just so behind on Marvel. I stopped. I couldn't watch Far From Home. I've got the disc and I watched it.
Couldn't or didn't?
I didn't. I watched it finally. I was doing other things at the same time because Mysterio couldn't get me to care too much. But I now can get back onto catching up on all of the other movies I haven't seen yet. So I do need
now
to
that you watched that one. Well, good on you. You did it.
I can move on. I can move forward. Yeah. But
did you cry?
Look, I didn't cry because I saw everything coming from the beginning. There was no surprises because it was Mysterio, and Mysterio did Mysterio things. There was no sad part to me. It was all exactly what I expected. The movie made me mad, okay? I wasn't happy with Far From Home.
Oh my gosh. But he did it, guys. He did watch it. So
I did do it.
There is that. Woohoo. Okay, you know what? You know what we should reference at least one of my favorite. This feels very nostalgic. Weird Al Yankovic. So we have a teaser trailer for Daniel Radcliffe playing him in the story of Weird Al's life, I guess. So I'm super excited about it.
Look, weird, musical biopics are becoming a real big thing recently with what was it? It was Queens, biopic recently, Bohemian Rhapsody,
Elvis
and
Presley.
Rocket Man. Rocket Man was a big deal too.
Yep. There's another one.
There's more. There's more.
Oh, not just Johnny Cash, but there's that other one that was big. The Born Star, the Star Born.
Yeah, Star Born.
Yeah, I was like, whatever that one.
Lady Gaga, and
But if you haven't, you should go check out the teaser trailer. And I think Daniel Radcliffe definitely pulls off like the aesthetic of Weird Al, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I were talking about how he doesn't look exactly like him, but like you totally get the vibe. So I mean, it does. Yeah. It did surprise me how much he did look like him, though.
Which is actually, it's kind of weird because you know, Weird Al is a surprisingly tall human being. He's not short.
No.
And Daniel Radcliffe is not that tall.
It's fine. They'll just give him some stilts. It'll work out.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing to me. But it kind of works out in some weird way. It's like, you know, with Daniel Radcliffe being, you know, from Swiss Army Man and all the various other things that he's just been a lunatic in, and I love it. Somehow Weird Al just fits in 100% ways, even though my brain's just all like, that's Daniel Radcliffe. It's not Weird Al. That's Daniel Radcliffe.
Right. Actually, I'm like little off topic, but not truly, because it's Daniel Radcliffe. But I read a interview from him recently where they were like, "Are you gonna come back and do a reunion for Harry Potter and like be in another film?" And he was like, "Quite honestly, it's kind of too soon for me." He's like, "I feel like I just got out of that realm, even though it's been years, right?"
He's been years.
It's been years, but he was like, I think he's like, maybe in another 10, 20 years, he's like, but I feel like I just now have broken out of the world and like that world, and people are starting to see me not as just Harry Potter. So, and I'm like, I totally get that. But anyway, so it's exciting. Yeah. Go check it out. I also love him in what is that? The Oregon Trail show, Miracle Workers. So if you have not checked out Miracle Workers, go check out that show. It is hilarious. It's like a historical, they joke about history basically, and there's one set in Renaissance time and one set in Oregon Trail time, so it's funny.
And then wasn't there the angel level season as well prior to
maybe there might be.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I know there's a Renaissance one and or medieval times, I mean, and then the Oregon Trail one that were great, and Steve Buscemi's in there too. All right, off topic enough, let me bring her back in.
Okay.
The Blizzard game that was announced for Warcraft mobile game. It's going to be an action strategy mobile game and free to play. And I think back like in what I was going to say Q4, but that's like October, November, December timeframe. There was also a leakage or potential announcement of a game similar to like Pokemon Go, and that one's scrapped, so they're not doing that. But this one will be happening, and it looks pretty cool. So we'll see. Keep an eye on that if you are into Warcraft at all.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this might go. Definitely a lot of silliness. It's, you know, mobile though. It's a weird area.
They've been announcing a few mobile idea options, so I think they're trying to get into that space even more. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes for sure.
Yeah.
I did actually watch Batman, not last weekend, the weekend before, the new Batman. So I finally watched that one.
Yes.
I will not give any spoilers, but if you have seen it, I would love to know what you thought in the chat. Personally, at first when I started watching it, I was like, this is really hyped up. Is it going to live up to the expectations? Because I kind of was feeling like it might end up being a little boring for me. And it was not. Let me tell you, it was not. The whole time I was like gripping onto the side of the seat, like, what's going to happen next? So, but it gives you a detective-y noir vibe, which is fun.
I mean, that's what everyone keeps saying, is that it feels like Batman being the detective instead of Batman being the superhero.
Exactly. That's what I like about it, because I always like that mystery, and I always wanted to be a private eye. So I kind of felt like I was solving the mystery with him. What's going to happen next? You don't know.
It's kind of interesting in that way.
Batman was great. I'm totally here for emo detective Batman too, Voodoo. That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
He obviously grew up with our emo phase. Okay, last bit of news, but not least bit of news. actually probably some of the biggest news this weekend, besides Doctor Strange as well. Free Comic Book Day, Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Please go to your LCGS, local community game store or comic store, whichever one you go to for your comics. They are going to have a lot of fun to be had. This year, what's Dragon's Lair up to this year?
I don't know, but man, they always have a good time.
Absolutely.
I know one time they had someone who was doing sketches and people signing stuff, cosplay. So at least, I mean, in the past, I don't know about this year, but
I'm not.
Sure it's similar vibe.
I'm certain there's a lot happening this year. It's just been, the world has always been all over the place recently.
So Rick said they had always wanted Batman to be a little bit more like Sherlock Holmes, so this movie may prove to be one of the best. I totally that it gave me that vibe, Sherlock Holmesy vibe, for sure. And I think Robert Pattinson did awesome. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah. Anyways, hey Chuck, good to hear from you.
Hey Chuck.
Yeah, but there's Free Comic Book Day this week.
Not today, Saturday.
No, Saturday, not today.
Go check out if you're in Austin or San Antonio. I believe they're also in San Antonio.
They're also got a Houston location now.
What? Okay,
yeah,
also in
Dragon's Layer's franchise.
Okay, go to Dragon's Lair if there's one in your area.
Yeah.
Or your local comic book store that you go visit. But
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Bobby. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Make your friends our friends. And, we have a good time. We love to hear their take on any of the things that we're talking about. Or if we missed anything, feel free to throw it in the chat. We can just, if we know about it, we'll talk about it. If we don't, we'll get back to you.
Is that so, Rick?
Oh, another share contest is coming. So keep an eye out.
We don't get told these things. They just happen.
Wish I lived closer. We wish you did too, Chuck.
Though it's always fascinating how far this reach has gotten. It's kind of crazy to me.
I know, it's kind of fun.
All right. First up, we've got comics this week. It's a heavy week, and I had to pare it down actually fairly significantly. So there are some great titles I'm not going to be bringing up this week, just because Free Comic Book Day week is always a heavy week for all comic years.
Free Comic Book Day.
So, take your time, go check out the shelves at your local comic store.
He just looks like he's running into Free Comic Book Day, about to go get his comics and
Is that how you think that we run? We are particularly very reasonable people when we walk into the store.
I think that's you, Bobby. That looks like you.
Look, I am perfectly reasonable when I get my comics on Free Comic Book Day. I go in before everyone else. It's part of the rules.
Chuck says, I'm making free grab bags for my LCS from my collection.
Oh, you're so awesome, Chuck. That's nice. A cool concept.
Marilyn says, hello. Hi, Marilyn. Good to see you. We're back. Or at least I'm back. They've been here. They were here last week, but I was not.
Yes. All right. So first up this week, we've got Giant Size X-Men. This one is the Thunderbird issue, which is actually kind of interesting. We have Nyla Rose, the superstar from the AEW All Elite Wrestling Circuit, who is slamming into Krakoa with a one-shot featuring the first X-Men who ever died in action. Yes, that was the fascinating part of Thunderbird, is that in comics lore, he is the first one to pass. It was very interesting. And so John Proudstar has returned and is completely different from the world he once knew now that he's been resurrected by the powers of Krakoa. And he is looking to find refuge in the familiar, since it's been so long he was dead. It's just part of the rules. Thunderbird seeks out someone from his past at an Apache reservation and uncovers a horrifying threat to the indigenous mutant community. Will Thunderbird be able to save his people, or will his justified rage lead him astray? Now, Nyla Rose is teaming up with the writer Steve Orlando and David Cutler, First Nations artists, to grapple with this storyline. So I'm intrigued to see where this might go. A lot of fun to be had. All right. Next up, we've got
giant size. Does that mean it's extra wide, or is it extra thick? Or is it?
It's generally thick. Giant Size X-Men is a one-shot series, but they're generally more than the normal pages.
Why did I just... Okay, so I just pictured it like a poster on a wall, and that's not...
Nah, no. We're talking more like a 100-page issue instead of a, Fair. Though you can get posters of giant-size X-Men covers. They're big deals, generally. And thank you, Rick. X-Men 95, I appreciate you finding me that issue number. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, next up, we have Spider-Man 2099. You know what? Miguel O'Hara is back, and he's back where he belongs in 2099. Protecting Nueva York. Now, a new cataclysmic event is causing what was the American wasteland to become a Garden of Eden. Spider-Man knows exactly what next atrocity is going to be, and it's the Cabal plans to set society ablaze. And it looks like we might have a Ghost Rider leading them, which is fascinating. The Cabal has been the group of villains that Miguel O'Hara has been fighting for a long time. So it's unsurprising that they would decide to just be comically evil because, comics.
Like, what's that?
Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see him back. He has been traveling around the time stream for a while, so it's good to see him back in his classical universe.
Does that say Stark in the back? Yeah, it does.
It is, yes. 2099 is a fascinating place. A lot of the, names that now are mega corporations at that time that Miguel is, fighting. So interesting to see where it'll go. Next up, we have Star Wars ObiWan. This is going to be an anthology series written as if it is being journals being written by ObiWan, probably in the 6 months before A New Hope occurs. And it's just him reflecting on various points in his life, him being a child before he was a Padawan, him being a Padawan and being a young Jedi, the Clone Wars, all that jazz. Everything that's happened since being a Clone Wars. This is basically coming out because the big TV series is coming out.
I was wondering. I was like,
yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. So I'm excited to see what will happen from this.
Chuck had a question. I didn't, or just a comment. I didn't know he was called Thunderbird. I always thought it was Warpath.
I believe Warpath and Thunderbird are connected characters, but I don't think they are the same characters.
It is a baby Obi-Wan.
No, you are correct. I'm sorry. He is Thunder. He was originally Thunderbird and then became known as Warpath. My apologies. Yeah, he's back. He was part of Krakoa's founding and was resurrected by Krakoa recently. But he's going back by the name of Thunderbird. I'm actually intrigued and wondering. I haven't been reading too much of the Krakoa titles. It could be that Warpath and Thunderbird are actually two different minds. Who knows? Yeah, John Proudstar is Thunderbird, but there's James Proudstar who's been going as Warpath. So I had a feeling, that they were different characters. Okay.
Sorry for the tangent. I had to ask. All right, and he said baby Obi-Wan. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Not old Ben.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Metal Society. This is a fascinating concept. So this is it's a miniseries being written by the writer Zach Kaplan from Port of Earth. He's working with Guilherme Balbi. There we go. I think I said that right. And it's a new sci-fi miniseries that's Blade Runner meets Rocky. And in a future, evolved robots have resurrected humans from manual labor. Just think about that for a second. Yeah. When a major culture clash breaks out, a fearless human fighter and a frustrated, displaced robot will square off in a public MMA-style sport fight of epic stakes to determine once and for all who reigns supreme, man or machine.
Wait, really? That's how they're going to decide?
look, okay, it's we had real steel, and we proved that properly outfitted Hugh Jackman can beat up robots. So I'm certain we'll be fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I don't know. This looks like it's going to be silly as heck, and I'm very excited to see what will come from it. But yeah.
I mean, why not? If you can duke it out, duke it out.
Absolutely. Next up, we have.
Chuck says, "This is Running Man."
I know, right? It's Quests Aside. So Quests Aside is coming out of Vault Comics. A skeleton, an apprentice mage, and an exiled princess walk into a bar. For another shift at the Quests Aside, the local watering hole run by once legendary, now retired adventurer Barrow. When the king privately explains that he plans to shut the place down, Barrow must find a way to hold on to his business and the family he's built around it. It's always sunny in the realms. I saw this and I love, D&D fantasy realism stories. There's not a lot of them, there's not enough of them, and I want more of them.
So are these only side quests? Since it's
I don't know.
Side?
I'm pretty sure it's just going to be like Cheers set in the Far Realms. That's what I'm pretty positive it's going to be. Or the Forgotten Realms. So that's what I'm excited to see what happens there.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Yes, excellent. We have Archer and Armstrong Forever. Valiant, baby. Valiant's got some weird comics, but Archer and Armstrong are among my favorites. If you don't know this story, Archer and Armstrong is a story of Armstrong, who's an immortal, and Archer, who was a guy raised by a cult to kill him. But then, due to a variety of reasons, they started hanging out together instead because he realized the cult was bad. So he's been hanging out with this immortal that he was trained to kill his whole life for a while now. Archer and Armstrong have been going strong for a while.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah. But it is the return of Valiant's best BFFs. And it seems that Armstrong has lost his immortality, and Archer refuses to let his best buddy go gentle into the good night. But when you live for a millennia, you rack up plenty of enemies who would be thrilled to find out you're no longer in.
Oh no! And then they can kill you. No.
Yeah, and
how do you no longer become more? Like, how do you become mortal after being immortal for so long? I guess you got to read to find out.
Absolutely, and the rules, and there is very clearly the word "seemingly" in there, and the rules of Armstrong are strange because he's deeply tied to his brother Ivan, who is the Time Walker. And when I say he's the Time Walker, I mean Ivan time travels a lot. That's what he does.
Chuck said, "Bring back Time Walker."
Yes, thank you, quick Chuck. Look, Time Walker was a great one-shot series, about like 7 issues. They've done him. He's come into other stuff, and he's had a few other series, but he never gets the amount of love that he deserves. Ivan is great.
Because you get the quickening. That's what happens. Is that a thing?
Highlander reference. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
And that one is the Last Guard, and that came from an Image series originally.
The one that Rick's talking about.
Yeah.
Netflix, yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, I loved the first series, the comic series. I read that one back to back. I loved it. It was so much fun. I haven't watched the movie yet. It's not a series. It's a movie. Because I don't want to see them. Old Guard. Thank you, Chuck. Old Guard, not Lost Guard. Yeah. Close. Anyways.
Different adjective.
And then next up, you might have noticed I've already gone through one of the big 2. That's because this week we've got some fun stuff. DC has Nubia, Coronation. Nubia has been a big deal in the DC universe for a while now. She's been consistently showing up, promoting the Amazon world, the Amazon's points of view, doing all sorts of important stuff for Amazons. She stood between man's world and the dangers of Doom's doorway for centuries. And, when she's been called upon to serve her people, she has stood strong and clear-eyed. She has been recognized by Diana as one of the most important members of the Mascara. And so she will be the new Queen Nubia, champion of the 3 tribes. So we're just going to see, what this special means, this big celebration. It's also going to be the introduction of her true origin, which we have never seen before. So this is going to kind of influence all of the stories about her for for years to come. So I'm very excited to see what might come of this.
It says, I'm here to help.
Thank you, Chuck. Yes. Thank you, Chuck. All right. Now, this is the reason why DC was at the back of this week. Also, the next 2 comics are mature titles. Our first one is Danger Street, coming out of DC Blackstreet. Look, this series is going to be real weird.
It looks
real
weird.
Quick, okay? Joining the Justice League is the goal of any superhero. But what happens when the quest for membership takes a sinister turn? Join Starman, Metamorpho, and Warlord as they look to prove themselves worthy by summoning and defeating Darkseid in battle. They learn that calling upon a new god never ends well, and their world is headed for a crisis as a result. The journey to save the day will be a treacherous one, filled with princesses, knights, and all kinds of monsters. Each person the hero encounters plays a crucial role in this sprawling yet gripping narrative that's a little bit silly, a whole lot dark, and completely cool. Now, this is an interesting thing, and I wonder if Rick will catch what this will all be about. This is going to involve a supporting cast featuring Manhunter, Lady Cop, the Green Team, and the Creeper. Tom King and James Fornes, who was the writer and artist on the Rorschach comic, are returning for an unforgettable maxi series that is reimagining characters and their stories. It is a multi-character, multi-layered crime drama starring some of DC's most obscure creations. Rick, do you know who I'm talking about?
Bum bum bum.
It turns out that this story is being inspired by the first issue special series from the 70s. And the first issue special was literally just a 12 to 13 issue series where they did nothing but first issues of various characters. Either, new starts to a series or other stuff. This wasn't like a, tryout series. This was literally just them going like, we're going to put a new #1 out each month. This is what it's going to be called. And all of these characters that I've mentioned were part of the stars of one of those areas. Cool. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. And all that jazz. It is going to be inspired by the heroes and villains of the first issue special. Dr. Fate was one of the characters that showed up, so we're going to see him. It is possible that this is actually being set off in a Swords and Sorcery type of world as well. So very excited.
Off topic, but Rick did post. Did you see that?
Yes, I just noticed.
Yeah, that Linda Carter, she recently lost her father, unfortunately, and she posted a really nice tribute on her Facebook page. So feel free to go check it out. Give some good wishes to her. She really seems to be positively reacting to that and appreciating all of the good wishes. And I didn't know that she also lost her husband a while back too. That's unfortunate. So definitely have her in your thoughts, and feel free to go check that out and send a little love and comment there to her page. And
absolutely.
Oh, Bobby, the series was actually called First Issue, he believes.
First issue special. I double checked.
Yeah.
I double checked. It is first issue special when I was looking it up. Yeah. And then our final story or final comic this week is Dogs of London. And how deep must you bury a body to make sure it doesn't haunt you?
At least 6 feet.
Frank and Terry, I say 12. Frank and Terry are about to find out. They were once members of the Dogs, a feared gang who ruled much of London's underworld back in the swinging 60s. They escaped their troubled past, but the past isn't dead. It's just bashed about a bit and very pissed off. Spanning different times and classes, Dogs of London is a brutal, bloody tale of violence, love, revenge, and the sleeping dogs who refuse to roll over and play dead. Thank you, Voodoo. This is a brutal cover.
I know, it really is.
Yeah. Look.
You said they were mature titles, and we did not lie.
This is being written by Peter Milligan. If you haven't been paying attention, Peter Milligan does a lot of Hellblazer and a lot of X-Force. And those are two great titles. So him getting his own like crime drama in the, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels kind of style, I'm super excited to see what comes out of that. So yeah.
Looks cool. Looks terrifying, actually.
Yeah. So The Dogs of London, everybody. That is our final title this week.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us. This is the highlight of our week. And we will go enjoy Free Comic Book Day. Like, don't forget, it's on Saturday. Put it on your calendar now. Go enjoy. Like, a lot of places have things going on. So go check out your local comic book store. If you're here in Austin, Houston, or San Antonio, go check out Dragon's Lair. Or heck, make a check to this one because they always do something fun. And then we will see you live at 7:25 next Tuesday. That's Central Time. Don't forget. And thanks for joining.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Adios.